If you wanted to keep this project simple, you could make 10 to 15 of these out of each pallet board. Usually there's about 5 to 10 usable pallet boards on every pallet, and if you sell them for 10 bucks each, I don't know, you do the math. Point is, these things can make you money, and if you ask me, they're really fun to make. But I don't want to just keep it simple, so let's make a few simple ones, and then we'll make a few that are a little bit more complicated, and in the end we can see which ones sell better online. Last weekend I stumbled into the bathroom in a morning haze and caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. Not good. My disheveled head was looking extra homeless. But that reminded me of a project I used to do, and I sold quite a few of them. So in hopes of cleaning myself up and making a quick buck at the same time, I headed out to the workshop. After dragging a pallet into my shop and breaking it down, I used my table saw sled to cut it into usable pieces. Alright, so the main thing that you're going to need for this project is a box joint jig. You're going to need a box joint jig, but don't worry, we're not making a box. Hello, sorry to interrupt. I realize I keep saying box joint, but it's actually a finger joint, which sounds like a dirty strip club name. A box joint jig is just a simple setup for your table saw. I'm using my table saw sled for this, but if you don't have a table saw sled, you could use your sliding miter gauge for your table saw, and that will work just fine. First thing you're going to want to do is grab a piece of wood like this one you see I have here, and lower your blade down to about 3/4 of an inch. Then just place that board against your miter gauge or your table saw sled like you can see here, and make a cut just like that. Okay, now that you have a slot in your piece of wood, you need to just cut another piece of wood that will fit right into that slot. And you're going to want to put an 1/8 inch gap between the blade and that little piece of wood that you just put into the slot. Once you have it placed in the correct spot, you can screw your board onto your table saw sled or your miter gauge depending on what you're using. And there you go, you got yourself a box joint jig, which is really useful for making the corners of boxes and this project. Alright, so now you're going to want to raise your table saw blade up pretty high and take your board and stand it up so that the grain is vertical. Then put it up against that little piece of 1/8 inch wood. Then you can make your first pass on the table saw and you've cut that nice slot right there. Then you can slide your board over, sliding the now cut slot onto that little piece of wood and make your next pass. Just continue this down the whole width of your piece of pallet wood. As you can see, you get a series of cuts like so. With that done, I just drew this simple little half circle on the back end of this and brought it over to my bandsaw. I made a cut that was nowhere near the line on the bandsaw, but that doesn't really matter. After that, I brought it over to my angle grinder and started sanding it all smooth. I don't have a benchtop belt sander or a big disc sander, which would really be helpful for this situation. But you want to get this nice and smooth and start sanding in all of the teeth so that they come to a point. After that, I moved over and clamped it to my workbench, and then I could start sanding down all of the tips. If you can't tell by now, we are making combs. Specifically for me, a beard comb, because this is getting out of control. Alright, so there you go. There's a very simple version of a pallet beard comb. Not the greatest thing in the world, and I know that, but it's simple, it's clean, and I've had them sell in the past, so let's make a more complicated one though and see which one sells better. 2 more weeks to get a shirt. Click down below in the link. You can get a die-trying shirt printed on nice and super soft material. I also have beer mugs and coffee mugs. As a matter of fact, I gotta go order one before this website disappears. It cost me too much to keep running it, so it's over. Grab one before they're gone. Now, like I said, I've made a few different versions of this comb, but there was one specific one that I was really proud of and really happy with the way it came out. So here's a little montage of me making that comb, and when it's over, we'll try to sell the 2 of them and see which one I can sell faster and for how much. Alright, so I posted the mustache comb and the simple one online. I had a few more that you can see right there, but I decided to just post those two. Now, because the simple one only took me about half an hour to make, I ended up putting $10 on it, and the mustache one took me about an hour and a half to make. And yes, the mustache comb is not pallet wood, so I decided to put $40 on the mustache comb. And I'm not surprised, the cheaper comb sold faster. I guess if you're looking to make money, maybe doing the simpler project that you can get done faster is the better idea. Even though you can't sell it for as much money, you may be able to sell more of them. Me personally, I'd rather make the mustache one and have something that I'm proud of. As a matter of fact, I've decided to keep the mustache comb. And you know the deal. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. You know, like, share, buy a t-shirt. I'm about to turn off that website. And if you like this video, come back next week. I'm going to redo this whole back wall and make it a little bit nicer of a background. Thanks again. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye. See you again. And have a good dream.